All right, Geek Outings, episode 8 of The Mandalorian. Editor coming out of San Antonio, Texas.
And Bobby, Joel Cole, on location in Santa Cruz, California this time, visiting the family up here. But happy to chime in, ready to geek out.
Boba Fresh, San Francisco. What up?
What up? Rob, Lucy, Southern Oregon. Reminder, spoilers ahead. Spoilers ahead.
Yep, good call, absolutely.
Rob Strotter, you're coming straight off watching it. What's your instant reaction?
That was a great episode. It gave us all the action we wanted. It gave us the force we wanted. It gave us the back and forth and scene setting and dressing. It was a layer cake of dopeness, and I couldn't mind having slices after slice.
I agree. As somebody who's seen it like 4 times already, it definitely was, and I think it was also a layer cake of truth for all of us, because we were all kind of right in some way on how this episode turned out. I think immediately just taking the cake from the top, man, that conversation between the troopers is awesome.
Dude, do you know that?
I feel like I'm watching Spaceballs or Robot Chicken, and it's really Star Wars, though. It's just awesome how they're able to play.
Do you know who voiced him?
I was actually trying to trip on that. It sounded like Ryan Reynolds was the second guy.
Jason Sudeikis.
But yeah, it definitely felt like it was a cameo. But Ed, yeah, your point, right off the top, going from that heavy action, going from not liking them, from just killing our homeboy from the end of last episode, and then boom, all of a sudden they have this banter, and you're like, all right, well, these are just kind of fucking dudes. And they make, in this, by using the comedy, you've humanized these guys. And just that back and forth, like, he's already smoked. He's like, yeah, they just kind of, you know how these guys are. This is standard operating procedure. Like, it was dope.
Yeah.
Bobby, what else was your take on that scene?
No, on that, for sure, like, they were setting the scene for you to enjoy them dying as soon as they both hit the kid. Once you saw the guy hit the kid twice, you're like, oh, well, that guy's going to die soon. And then when the other guy went and hit it as well, you're like, okay. They became irredeemable at that point. I don't know why that act was the thing after killing the other guy and snatching the baby. But once they hit Baby Yoda a couple times, I was like, okay, your guy's story is about to end soon, and it's going to be a good moment. I don't know.
Well, Lucy, what did you think about the return of IG-11 in that fashion?
Well, he came a little bit too late, but I loved how, like, if you consider the last episode, where was he when Yoda was getting snatched up the first time? But if you look beyond that, him coming in and saving the day was awesome. Breaking the arm there. And they're kind of still continuing their conversation, you know, coming off the terrible shot at the can like 10 feet away. And then his arm gets ripped off and his head gets smashed in, and that thing jumps off on the cycle, which transitions into the next scene. So it was a great flow from not just from that scene to the next scene, but to all the scenes. The pacing was very well done, I thought. You even got to take your breath when they enter into the lava cave for a second. After about 15 or 20 minutes of like straight action, you're like, woo, take a breath. The pacing was really well done.
Yeah, and I mean, like, immediately after that, you got the Mexican standoff, and we're back to the space western again.
Mm-hmm. Right, exactly.
You've literally given him to sundown to figure out what he's going to do. I mean, it was just
right.
It's what we've been saying the whole, every episode. They remind you of that. And then you get Din Djarin, huh? You get his name before you even see his face. Who would have thought it would have happened in that order? It was interesting.
And the thing that did shock me, biggest shocking moment, was finding what happened to the Mandalorian core that was hiding underground. That, I was just like, really? Like, for them, that to be their story? Like, that was like, whoa, okay. Anyway.
It was awesome to see the armor just wreck those stormtroopers in there. And they never show her dying. which was nice. And then to get back to pacing, at the end of that scene, like, he gives us a whole bunch of information about his backstory and Moff Gideon. And then he's like, oh, Cara Dune too from Alderaan. Like, so this guy is way up there, and he's like the, Hitler of, he's Mangala, apparently, supposed to be executed for war crimes. Then you have the scene through the sewers, which slows down a little bit, so you have a little bit of time to process that. Then they give you more information, and then they go into lava tunnel where you get more time to process information. And I want to bring that up as a point because I thought the pacing in this was so well done, as I've just stated, but the pacing in the new Star Wars movie, not well done. But that's for a different video. What about you?
The most shocking thing to me is how clean Navarro's sewers are. That shit was on point. It was literally cleaner than on the street. I do not know what droids or what Jawas scour that sewer, but like, there's no runoff. There's no one seems to be bothered by a smell at all.
Well,
it's cool. The scene with the forging with the mud horn was super dope. Very rewarding from, again, the episode 3 anticipation. And then our little dude getting the Mandalorian, the necklace at the end, and like, so him getting his own signal, and you're a clan of 2, and it was dope.
It was dope how he took down the TIE fighter. And can we talk about the Darksaber? Moff Gideon coming out of there with the Darksaber?
Well, so you guys watched the Clone Wars and Rebels and stuff, so that give you the backstory of the Darksaber, right?
Yeah,
Clone Wars does. I don't know it from Rebels, but I know from Clone Wars.
Yeah, from Clone Wars. That made me want to ask the question that I guess I was going to ask later, but I'll ask it now.
Well,
is he a Mandalorian?
Great.
Or did he take it from a Mandalorian?
Do you remember at the end of Rogue One when she's going through all of the discs to get the Death Star plans? One of the files that she's looking at right before that is called Black Saber, not Darksaber, but like it's like a play on it. So it's very possible that he ended up getting the file somehow out of all of that information. But the idea of him being a Mandalorian who's turned against his own people is a great thing. But his gripe with Yoda seems to be more of his motivation and his background story. And I think if they try to make him a Mandalorian turned, that would be a bit much for him to carry all by himself as a villain when you can spread that kind of hate out. Like, we got to get to season 2. But yeah, I thought that the revelation of the Darksaber was super dope, and him. and I just want to say, normally I would say that someone standing on the top of a TIE fighter in the silhouette the way that he did is bullshit, but his character, I believe, would do that in universe. It'd just be like, look at my shit, dog. Like, man, it's all pulled back, like the S curl is like just like barely hanging on everything in the back. Man, it's dope. This shit is dope, man. Dude,
on that note,
Yoda is 50 years old.
Yeah, but also I really wanted to see
overlooking that.
But still,
like, Baby Yoda
now profoundly.
Baby Yoda hasn't been in a coma for 49 years, 11 months, and he's seen things. Like, I get that. I get the idea.
Maybe not. Maybe he's been in that cocoon for 40 years and hasn't seen anything, and the Force has kept him alive.
I just wanted to see little Baby Yoda wear Mandalorian gear. I wanted to see the armorer pull out a little tiny helmet.
Who's been taking care of Baby Yoda for the last 50 years?
Well, who here is even 50? Raise your hand. Yeah, exactly. You don't know what the fuck. No idea what this guy's thinking about. You could be thinking about masturbating all the time, or you could be thinking about how to solve the world problems, and you have no idea.
Surprise star of the show for me, Apollo Creed. just like down in shots, like, oh, I'm about to die. I'm gonna take some shots. Like,
Yeah.
hey guys, like, I'm either gonna like die out there or in here. I'm just gonna sit here and do shots the whole time, and then making it through it. He was some comedic levity throughout the episode for me that was really well done. What did you think?
It wasn't forced. I think it's just also interesting, Strider, to point out you were right once again about the Jedi not being well known, much less Yoda's species. When she starts talking about armor, about how, oh yeah, I've heard about this. They're sorcerers, and she couldn't even name if it was their species, but it was their kind.
But the last Darksaber that I know of ended up in the hands of the Death Watch. So that also kind of lends light to Moff Gideon possibly being a Mandalorian.
Oh,
I'm
No,
gonna claim the rule of surprise. I'm claiming the rule of surprise. I'll be the first one on Geek Outings to claim the rule of surprise. I want to ask my good friend Robert Strotter, the biggest Star Wars fan I know, and if I have a question about Star Wars, I go to you. Why have you not gone and seen The Rise of Skywalker yet? The end of the trilogy.
Amazing question, Robert Lucy. I have a very solid answer for you. Because you're talking about something it's reading the last page in a book that you love. It's 30 years of story of my life. It's 30 years of speculation, of friends that I've made, of conversations that I've had, of games that I've played, of all of these theories. And it's not to say that obviously Mandalorian is going to pick up the torch and all of these other side things are. But I mean, I can think back to a long time ago about thinking about that. I would never see the 9th episode. Episode 9 was just something that was just never going to happen, you know, like, and which was fine. Like, it was one of those things that was frozen. It was perfect by being frozen in theory, because it could always be the best thing possible if it was never made. And so part of me is like, so part of me is reluctant to close that chapter and to read that final book and finish it off. I mean, obviously we're talking about episode 8, but really we're talking about season 1. All in all, I really obviously enjoyed this. This has rebooted, quote unquote, a certain aspect of the Star Wars universe that needed to be fleshed out. It's great to have Clone Wars. It's great to have the Resistance. It's fun to have, you know, the young adult novels and the worlds that those work in. You know, like, all of these corners of Star Wars are valid. But with Star Wars, like I said, like, you can wear many hats with it, and I'm really glad that they returned to having this grimy corner for us who wanted it. I am going to give this a G+ for Extra Geek. Good season. Eduardo, editor.
Yes,
What did you think of the season?
I would agree, and I thought it was a hard G. Also, my previous female crush was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, but it's now the Armorer, 100%.
Both are very similar. I wouldn't be surprised if we found out that was a cameo all season. It was
One can
AOC.
dream.
AOC was in The Mandalorian all season.
Hey, before we go, hold on. This is a very important question coming to the end of this season, and one we've been asking each other. What are your predictions for next season, Ed?
They're going to a water planet and going swimming.
Solid prediction, Ed. Solid prediction. I'm gonna take that to Vegas.
Not going to Naboo. Get out of here.
It's a trap.
Hey, Ed, I heard even a broken clock is right twice a day. So you might be right on this one. Strider, what's your predictions for next season?
I think that they're gonna go to a snow planet.
So if I just bet 700 on The Price is Right, you spent 701 right now.
Exactly.
Hey, Gavin, come here, bud.
$1.
Well, I thought it was really cool how the armorer, she was like, "Yo, you're the dad." Like, I liked how she issued paternity court in Mandalorian style. She's like, "This is just how it gets done." She's like, "You're the dad. You carry this baby around now." But she also issued you got to go find where this kid is from. So to take this rich, unanswered corner of the Star Wars universe, what are Yoda's? And to give us the end game and be like, okay, like wherever this season goes, if whoever dies, whatever, we're going to see where Yoda's come from. We're going to find out what Yoda's are called. We're going to, he's going to have to, do a lot of cool detective work to kind of unfold. And I think that it'll be really cool if they take the angle of, again, they haven't even discussed Jedi. Do you understand, how crazy that is?
Totally, yeah.
No,
I mean, absolutely what you said is crazy and leads me to my prediction for the next season is I don't know if Moff Gideon is a Sith at all, but he has the Darksaber. But I think we'll see a Jedi introduced, at least to see someone battle against the Darksaber with a lightsaber. Maybe even that is like a climax or a cliffhanger for the end of season 2. I think we will see a solid introduction of what a Jedi is next season. Because, to hold that back this entire first season is crazy. That's so much of what we know is canon already that is just legend to them, just myths,
I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but Lucy, I also think that it's dope though that they did wait until the very last scene, because if it doesn't get well received the rest of the season and boom, we know that season 2 is going to be greenlit. If it was on the shaky ground until the very end and that scene happened, boom, you're blowing up the internet. Everyone's like, what? And you're going to get a second season just from people wanting to have the satisfaction of the Darksaber story. But Lucy, what are your predictions?
I think I agree with everything except for what Ed said. His answer was lame.
Snow planet, no water planet. Snow planet, no water planet.
Favreau did a wonderful job of giving it direction, but also giving it infinite possibility as far as storytelling goes, I think. With to answer your question, Rob, I think people will look at the Darksaber, and you'll probably find more people watching Clone Wars and watching Rebels to get a history on this. I think he's creating more fans of the deeper Star Wars universe. I find myself watching Rebels, which I'd never watched before. I'm like, I'm going to turn this on and see what's going on in the background. I probably watch too much TV, but I think he's created interest, and kudos to him for doing a great job. I can't wait to see next season.
My favorite thing from the entire season, I finally have someone to really, really cosplay. And I'm gonna fucking kill it.
Ah!
Wait, are you doing Moff Gideon?
Oh, you fucking
with the hair?
Gonna have to grow it out just a little bit and get an S curl.
Yeah.
I am coming down to San Francisco this Halloween just to hang out. I got to see that in person. I mean, I saw the Sinestro and that looked pretty awesome through pictures that you sent me. But I got to see that shit.
Yeah,
Hey, come here.
I have a small window of a lot of good things that I can do well.
Let's say bye to my friend.
Jafar, Sinestro, and now Moff Gideon, and I'm very happy. Very happy to add
Say
to
bye
my
to my
roster
friend.
of non. Yo.
Editor San Antonio closing out.
All right. Hey, as always, Bobby, a.k.a. Joe Cole, chiming in, geeking out, having fun with Geek Outings. Keep on geeking on until next time.
Boba Fresh. Bob A. Fresh. You can catch me at Boba Fresh Instagram. Check out the Geek Out page on Facebook.
Rob Lucy, Blue Sock coming at you from Southern Oregon. If you like what you're seeing, please like, comment, subscribe. I want to get a little bit more interaction going on in the comment section, at least on Facebook. I got to check our YouTube page a little bit more. Love our discussions. Can't wait to discuss the Rise of Skywalker here shortly. Happy New Year if we don't get to you before that, everybody. Peace out.